Today it's time to cover the Lian Li LANCOOL 215, and since I already did the LANCOOL 2 and LANCOOL 2 mesh, I think it's quite right to cover this one as well. Now, what did they do here differently than in the standard LANCOOL cases? Here we have two 200mm addressable RGB fans on the front, and we have a different concept right here, so there's no opening as on the standard LANCOOL cases, but we'll get to more details after the intro, of course. Let's tear down the case and see what we got inside, except for the front two 200mm fans. First of all, I would like to say that the front Lian Li logo is really cool and it really does fit nicely. Since I already did loads of white cases, I think it was just quite alright to do a black version of one case, just to make diversity. So here we go with the tempered glass. But checking out the parts right here, I can see loads of holes here on the power supply shroud. So what I can see is basically you can place two 120mm fans right here, and you can rotate them as you wish, basically to blow more air to your graphic card, or reverse them to blow air down to the power supply shroud, which doesn't kind of make sense, but this is quite alright. You can manage two additional fans. If you don't want two 200mm fans, you can place three 120mm on front, or you can place two 140mm fans. On top we have almost the same configuration, except you can go with the 360, you can go with two 120, two 140, so you can decide which one do you like. And at the back you already have a standard Lian Li fan, which is 120mm dimensions. Now, since we're talking about fans, of course we need to mention the radiator support. On front you can place 360 or 280, on top you can place 240 or 280, and at the back I think we can squeeze in a 120mm fan. I'm saying that you could place 280 or 240 without any issues, because you have nice distance, nice clearance basically from the VRMs, from the RAMs, from everything that is based on your motherboard, because you have additional rubber grommets which give you about nice access to the cables on top of your motherboard and the headers on your motherboard to connect those cables, just to connect your cables or place your radiator and fans up on top. Since I mentioned rubber grommets, here you have two of them on top above the motherboard, and you have two large ones on the right side of the motherboard for USB 3.0, I don't know, 24 pin and similar cables, PWM for your fans and stuff like that. At the bottom you have two holes, which I already mentioned, and these are most likely used for USB 2.0 for some sort of a controllers or a HD audio header and similar stuff. The cool thing about the power supply shroud is that it has already an opening, so the radiators can fit nicely inside, and you won't have any issues with hard drive cage, because hard drive cage is placed a bit inside, and basically we'll get to that part later on. The cool thing about this case is you can leave the two 200mm fans on front, place the radiator. Well, basically you need to remove the fans, place the radiator, and additional fans like, I don't know, 3 120 or 2 140, depending if you're going, what kind of radiator you're going to use, and then place the 200mm fans back. So you'll have a push-pull combination with already stock fans, and use the radiator fans here without any problems. And 7 PCI brackets right here. You have a dust filter on your power supply shroud, which is pretty long, and this is quite alright. It's easy to take it out, it's easy to place it back in, clean it up with a dust brush or whatever. On top you have a magnetic dust filter, which is, as you can see, quite long and covers almost the whole top part of the case without giving you any problems to clean it. The cool thing about it is that it really blends in with the top part of the case, so it doesn't stick out on the edges. Nice and subtle and elegant design. In front we don't have a dust filter, but you have that fine mesh that gives the possibility for nice airflow, and yet it blocks dust from entering your PC system. Of course, there's always small bits and pieces of dust entering the case, but those things can't be avoided. Now let's check out the back. Of course, additional 2 thumb screws that need to be removed so you could access the back side. Here we go. The back side is fairly interesting because, first of all, the one thing that you'll definitely notice is the fan header, fan controller, and the RGB, addressable RGB controller. You have possibility to connect 6 fans, well, basically 5 fans, because one needs to be connected to a motherboard, and you have 3 RGB devices already connected, so basically you can't extend that, or maybe you could with a splitter or some sort of. It needs additional power with your SATA connectivity, so you connect the SATA power directly to your power supply SATA cable, and that's how it powers on. You have connection right here on the top to manually change colors, or you could of course go with your motherboard software and control it that way. You have 3 Velcro ties that give you some sort of a cable management, and with the space going up to 2.5 centimeter, I think we can manage some nice cable management, especially since it has these parts that stand out, so you could use zip ties and tie up the cables that go all around the case, which aren't concentrated here in the middle where the Velcro ties are. On the right side you have 2 2.5-inch brackets for your SSD, or if you decide to go with your hard drives in 2.5-inch form factor. And at the bottom you have additional storage space, one 3.5-inch bracket, and you could place on top 2.5-inch SSD. Basically that's all there is to it from the back side. On top we have a 3.5mm jack, which is multi-purpose, so for your headset and for your microphone, so usually you get 2 of those. On this case you get only 1 because it's 4-pole. Then we have USB 3.0, we have a button that is for changing your RGB, you have a reset button and power on button. Now the case really looks interesting, and I have no doubt about it that the performance, temperatures and everything won't be as we expect, which is low. Since we have a front part that is really open, it's time to place a build inside and nevertheless do some thermals. First of all, let's turn this PC on, and basically you can see that it really looks nice with front 2 200mm fans, which are basically really quiet. Apart from the other builds that I placed, for instance Lian Li's Galahad AIO, this time I placed a CPU tower cooler, and this one is Noctua NH-D15S chromax.black. I have 2 on top 140 and 1 at the back 120, SL 140 and 120. And the temperatures are quite interesting because in AIDA 64 Extreme Edition with stress test on stability, well basically stability stress test, the CPU went maximum to 63, it basically average was 61, and the GPU was RTX 2070, which had the temperature staying around 63-64. I would say it has loads of space from the interior. As you can see, the graphic card still has enough space, so you could go with a larger one for instance RTX 3000 series or AMD Radeon RX 6000 series. And the CPU tower cooler goes basically almost till the end of tempered glass. You still have I think 5 millimeters left for extra space. The cool thing about the case is that on top part of the motherboard you really have enough space, so you don't have to worry about radiator support and high profile RAMs colliding and giving you problems while placing them, or even VRMs, passive coolers for the motherboard. So you're good to go with that part. Let me just turn it like this. So guys, yeah, really satisfied. Case looks outstanding. The price is even better, and you do get two 200mm fans which are addressable RGB, and you get one single fan 120 at the back, which is non-RGB. So guys, yeah, just one more time for the front side so you can check it out. It really does look outstanding with I mean, I won't lie, every case looks brilliant with two 200mm fans, but this one is just pretty slick. So guys, thank you for watching today's video. I'll place the links below for the Lian Li LANCOOL 215, so you can check out the prices and all the details about it. And if you like the video, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you in another one. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.